1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I love counting. Whatever the amount.
Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here and welcome to another episode of 10 for 12. And for October, I have a really great treat for you. I'm actually going to be doing a collab video with a very good friend and fellow YouTuber. Her name is Rachel. I have mentioned her in a couple of episodes that I have done of Out of the Vault this year. She is truly a Disney and animation fan. Due to some recent surgery that she had about a month or two back, she has had the ability while recuperating to watch and review in a blog that she has put together, and there will be a link provided in the box below to the fact that she is watching all of the Disney classics from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs all the way to Big Hero 6 when it comes to theaters. You are extremely lucky, and I am extremely envious of you. Her reviews are really great and very much in depth, and she's very fair in regards to her final grading process on each of the films, and she of course is always open to feedback as to agreement or disagreement, but I also believe that even though she has a couple of YouTube videos to her name, I am hoping that you guys will check out her channel and maybe give her an opportunity to really see what she needs to do to gain a couple more subscribers. This is hopefully going to be a very positive first step. I'm looking forward to collaborating with her, and the 10 for 12 that we're going to do today is family animated films that you may have forgot about. Disney may be the king of animation, and it may have had its low points, and it has redeemed itself, but there are a lot of animated films out there that are not from Disney, and a lot of them are very good, and a lot of them are also very memorable. So if you're going to expect to see, at least from my top 10 list, movies like The Land Before Time, or An American Tail, or even Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, you are sorely mistaken. I am actually going to be including 10 movies that are family animated films, meaning that don't have extremely harsh topics like Batman Mask of the Phantasm. That's another review for another category in time. These are movies that are outside of Disney and even inside of Disney. So without further ado, here are my top 10, and then there will be a link for Rachel's top 10. So once again, the list is 10 animated family movies you may have forgot about. Number 10, Horton Hears a Who. I don't know why not that many people are talking about this movie. This is based on a Dr. Seuss classic, and while it does get extended and changed around a little bit just for film purposes, it keeps to the essence of the original story, but it's got a great voice cast. Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, Seth Rogen, Amy Poehler, Jonah Hill, and at least for me, the great Carol Burnett. Not to mention the fact that Anthony Hopkins is the narrator, but it's just so awesome. I just enjoy it thoroughly and laugh. It's got so much great comedy and great pop culture references intertwined with the story. I even like how it references Horton Hatches the Egg, which is a much shorter story, but they still managed to throw that little piece in there. I just say that if you want to see a great comedic family movie, you have to see Horton Hears a Who. Number 9 is the Powerpuff Girls movie. Yes, the show is very memorable, but a lot of us may not have even seen the movie. The movie came out in 2002, and it was pretty much what everybody that are Powerpuff Girls fans wanted to see. An origin story of the Powerpuff Girls. And it's how they became superheroes and all the trials and tribulations that they had to overcome, and of course also encounter their very first villain that has an origin story that is quite unique in the Powerpuff Girls world. It's a film that has great action sequences, great pop culture references. I really enjoy it. I actually own a copy of it. It was a very good movie. Number 8 is a Disney movie, and it's actually a Disney movie that is based on a cartoon. It's Recess School's Out. I was not a true fan of Recess, although I did enjoy a lot of the episodes that I did watch, and I never got the chance to see it in theaters, but when I got the chance to rent it and see what this movie was all about, I loved it. It's a great story, it's got a great 1960s music soundtrack, and it was a great adventure story. I haven't seen it in a while, so I really can't remember some of the highlights, but I just remembered renting it, watching it with my little sister, and really loving it. Number 7, DreamWorks Flushed Away. That's a movie that nobody talks about, and I personally think it is one of DreamWorks' best. It, of course, also has the Aardman Studios working behind it, and it was the Aardman Studios' first CGI film, due to the fact that at the time their studios for their stop motion had burnt down. But this is a great and fun movie. I absolutely love British humor. The cast includes Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, Andy Serkis, Kate Winslet, Bill Nighy. I mean, this has a little bit of everything for you. It's got great action, great one-liners, great drama and comedy, and it's just a wonderful story about two different worlds colliding. I don't know why no one talks about this one, because they should. It's such a great movie, and it's got such great pop culture references too. It's a real laugh fest. Number 6 is another Disney movie, and it is one that did hit theaters. It's a Goofy movie. Yes, out of all the Disney afternoon shows, one of them that I didn't expect, there was another one that did, and I will be talking about it on this list, just a small spoiler, but it was based on the story of Goof Troop. Goofy and his son Max, the story of Max just trying to get the girl and making a name for himself in high school. And it's a really great story of father and son, teenage anxiety, generation gap. It's got a lot of very subliminal messages towards real family life. It's got a lot of great Goof Troop characters, although I really wish that there were a couple of additional ones, because we did see Pete and PJ, but we didn't see Peg, Pistol, or the pets, and I just feel that if we added them to the story, it probably would have given us a little more to it, but it's got some good songs in it. That's one of the few things I did like. It had some great typical characters singing Disney songs, and just songs that went along with the soundtrack, but I highly recommend a Goofy movie if you didn't see it. I also did see an extremely Goofy movie, but you don't need to really see that one. You can skip it. Number 5. I don't really know if this one is forgotten, but nobody really talks about it, and it's the Rugrats movie. It was one of the few Nickelodeon tunes that really stood the test of time, and it was the very first one to actually get its own movie. It was a very epic adventure, more than the Rugrats themselves could ever handle, but what also is a real deep piece of this story is sibling rivalry, because it was the first appearance of Tommy's little brother, Dill. And it was a very good, very heartfelt movie. I do remember there were points in the movie where I actually did tear up, but it really expanded the whole Rugrats universe. It definitely picked up the television show where it left off before the movie premiered, and hey, this show went on for 10 years. That's pretty incredible, and included a spin-off, and not only did it include television spin-offs, it included 2 more Rugrats movies, and I did see the Rugrats in Paris, and I actually did enjoy it, but if you've seen the Rugrats Go Wild, I haven't seen it, but let me know what your thoughts were, but a Rugrats movie is definitely memorable to me. Number 4 is a movie that I hold near and dear to my heart, while so many love to crap on it, but it's Jetsons the movie. Jetsons are my favorite cartoon of all time. Yes, the voice of Judy, we got Tiffany instead to connect with the young folk. Yes, it felt very much not like the original Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and yes, it did have a lot of environmental safety overtones, but I love this movie just because I love the Jetsons. And the craziest thing is, George O'Hanlon and Mel Blanc did pass away after this film did premiere. Luckily, George O'Hanlon, even after suffering a stroke, managed to finish his role, and you can definitely see the changes in George Jetson's voice, but he went till the very end, and I give him props for that. It's a good movie. I enjoy it a lot. I don't find anything wrong with it. I have seen various reviews of people that just don't like it, but I still don't understand why. I own the Jetsons movie, and I will watch it till the end of my days. Number 3 is Charlotte's Web. It came out in the 1970s, and yeah, I know what you're thinking. Disney, how did you not get your hands on this? This is a really good, very deep story. It's got wonderful characters. It's got really good songs. But what it really has was a brain. It really is a great story about friendship and a great story about life. Again, how Disney did not get this one, I don't know, but it's overlooked A lot. Not that many people even remember it, but I watched this movie when I was really young, and I must have watched it 100 times. I haven't seen it in such a long time, but I really should. Still, it's a great movie, and if you've never seen this animated classic, I really believe it is a classic, you really should. It will change your life, and really give you an understanding and a better grip on the fact that there were a lot of great animated movies outside of Disney, even way back in the day. Number 2 is DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Yes, there was a DuckTales movie. Yes, it was in theaters, but why hasn't Disney put it on DVD or Blu-ray in the United States? I don't get it. This movie was awesome. The essence of the DuckTales cartoon brought to the big screen with a great new villain in Murloc voiced brilliantly by Christopher Lloyd. A DuckTales fan will appreciate this movie through and through. A mixture of Indiana Jones thrown in with a ton of Disney magic. It truly is, believe it or not, the Aladdin story before Aladdin was even thought about. I adore this movie. I'm so glad I got to even see it on the big screen. It didn't need all the other characters like the Beagle Boys or Gizmo Duck or Bubba or Magica. It was what it was, and it felt like it really belonged in the DuckTales universe, but it gave you that epicness and bigger picture than any DuckTales episode ever did, and I'm hoping it comes out on DVD soon because I want it so badly. And that leaves my number 1. While so many people who have seen it have said wonderful things about it, heck, Funko has even made a pop out of its main character, the Iron Giant. Brad Bird directed it. We all know him putting together great things like The Simpsons and movies like The Incredibles and Ratatouille, but he was a great writer from the start, and The Iron Giant proves it. It was a movie that a lot of people saw trailers for, but not that many people went to see. But I don't understand why. Maybe it was just because of the fact that it took place in the 50s. Maybe because of the fact that it just looked so ordinary. But it wasn't. It was such a wonderful, thought-out, deep story. A story of coming of age. A story of facing your fears. Great comedy. A great cast, including Jennifer Aniston, Vin Diesel, and Harry Connick Jr. A great homage to the 1950s and the space race. Great pop culture references from the time. It really brought you back to a simpler time. Something that animation really hasn't done in a long time. Animation is constantly moving forward. It's never really moving backwards as it used to. While there are some that do, there aren't that many. It really is one that has stood the test of time. It's a classic. I own it, and I watch it any chance that I get when I just want to see something that, to me, is animation perfection. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and in advance, thank you very much to Rachel for doing this collab with me. I'm very curious to see what your top 10 will be, because we're doing a blind boxing here, so to speak. I don't know what her top 10 is, she doesn't know what my top 10 is, but hopefully we will see if there are similarities and differences and why. So click on the link in the box below so you can see Rachel's top 10. Looking forward to another 10 for 12 soon, guys. Actions speak louder than words.